The flight as the basic drill unit. The first phase of drill involves teaching the airman basic movements, facings, and positions either as an individual or as a member of an element. The second phase of drill merges the individual with others to form a flight, in which base formations and marchings are learned. The flight is composed of at least two, but not more than four elements. This formation is the most practical drill group. In flight drill, the positions of the flight commander, deputy flight commander, and guide or guidon bearer assume importance. For the purposes of instruction, your supervisor may assume any of these titles and positions. Again, a flight forms in at least two but not more than four elements in line formation. The command is fall in. If the flight commander needs to form up the flight commander will give the command for his respective flight. For example, if the flight commander is in alpha flight, the flight commander will give the command alpha flight, fall in. Here we have a figure of a flight in line formation. Some of the key personnel that I would like to point out before explaining the structure of the flight are the flight commander, the guide or guidon bearer, the element leaders, the row guards, and the deputy flight commander. Please keep in mind that in this particular figure, the deputy flight commander is not part of the row guards. The deputy flight commander is always positioned in the left rear corner of the flight in line formation. Hence why I circled that particular row guard, because that is not a row guard. That is where the deputy flight commander is positioned. On the command fall in, the guide takes a position facing the flight commander and to the flight commander's left, so the first element will fall in centered on and 3 paces from the flight commander. Once halted at the position of attention, the guide performs an automatic dress-right dress. When the guide feels the presence of the first element leader on his or her fingertips, the guide executes an automatic ready front. Once positioned, the guide does not move. So here we have a flight in line formation. Here's the flight commander, there's the guidon bearer, and the deputy flight commander. The first element leader falls in directly to the left of the guide or guidon bearer and once halted, executes an automatic dress-right dress. The second, third, and fourth element leaders fall in behind the first element leader, execute an automatic dress-right dress, visually establish a 40-inch distance, and align themselves directly behind the individual in front of them. The remaining cadets fall into any open position to the left of the element leaders and execute an automatic dress-right dress to establish, dress, and cover. To establish interval, the leading individual in each file obtains exact shoulder to fingertip contact with the individual to his or her immediate right. As soon as dress, cover, interval, and distance are established, each cadet executes an automatic ready front on an individual basis and remains at the position of attention. Here we have a figure of a flight in column formation. This is how flights transit from point A to point B while marching. The guide or guidon bearer is now positioned in front of the last element leader, in this case, the fourth element leader. And the position of the deputy flight commander still remains at the rear of the flight. Here we have a few examples of how the flight would look in column formation. The distance in column formation remains the same, 40 inches from your chest to back of the person in front. And as for intervals, in the normal intervals, it will remain as arm's length, but if you are in closed intervals, it will be 4 inches. Here's an example of a flight in column formation at closed intervals, and here is an example of a flight in column formation at normal intervals.